Ever wondered why sometimes you feel drained or taken for granted in your relationships? Well, you're not alone. This feeling often stems from a lack of personal boundaries. Boundaries, in simple terms, are the lines that we draw around ourselves to define what's acceptable and what's not. They're like invisible fences that protect our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. They're crucial in maintaining a healthy relationship with ourselves and with others. Imagine your life as a beautiful garden. You've spent time planting seeds, watering them, and nurturing them to grow into vibrant plants. Now, if you allow anyone to walk through your garden, trampling on your plants, how would that make you feel? Pretty terrible, right? That's exactly why we need boundaries. Personal boundaries act as the no trespassing sign to protect your garden, your life. They prevent others from stepping all over your feelings, your needs, and your values. They ensure that you're treated with respect and that your voice is heard. Establishing boundaries also helps maintain a healthy relationship with others. It sets clear expectations about what's acceptable and what's not. This clarity can prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. It ensures that relationships are mutually respectful and fulfilling. Now, what happens when we don't have clear boundaries? It's like having a garden without a fence. Anyone can walk in, trample on your plants, and leave a mess behind. Without boundaries, we leave ourselves open to being used, manipulated, or violated. We may feel overwhelmed, stressed, and disrespected. We may find ourselves in toxic relationships where our needs and feelings are constantly overlooked. So to answer the question we started with, why do we sometimes feel drained or taken for granted in our relationships? It's often because we haven't set clear boundaries. We allow others to take more than we're willing to give. We let them trample on our garden, leaving us feeling depleted and disrespected. If you nodded yes to our opening question, it's high time you set some personal boundaries. Not only will it protect your garden, but it will also help it flourish. The first step to setting boundaries is understanding yourself. This is the cornerstone of self-awareness, which is the bedrock upon which the edifice of personal boundaries is built. Imagine yourself as a castle. The walls of this castle are your boundaries, and they guard the precious treasure within, your self-worth, your values, your emotions, your peace of mind. But how can you build these walls if you don't know what you're protecting? This is where self-awareness comes into play. It's a journey into the depths of your mind, a voyage of self-discovery. It's about knowing your likes, your dislikes, your values, your tolerances. It's about understanding your emotional landscape, your reactions to different situations, and your ways of dealing with stress and conflict. Now, you might ask, why is this important? The answer is simple. To set boundaries, you need to know what you stand for. You need to know what you will not tolerate. You need to know what makes you happy and what upsets you. Think of it this way. If you don't like loud noises, you'll probably not enjoy living next to a construction site. If you value punctuality, you might not appreciate people who are consistently late. These are your personal boundaries, and they stem from your self-awareness. Self-awareness is not a one-time thing, it's a continuous process. It's about paying attention to your feelings, your reactions, and your thoughts on a daily basis. It's about understanding how different situations affect you and adjusting your boundaries accordingly. It's also about respecting yourself. You have a right to your feelings, your thoughts, your values. You have a right to protect them, to guard them, to set boundaries around them. This is not selfishness, this is self-care. So, take some time for introspection. Reflect on your experiences, your reactions, your feelings. Understand what makes you, you. This is the first step towards setting your boundaries. Being aware of who you are is the foundation of setting effective personal boundaries. Remember, it's your castle. You decide who gets in and who stays out. Once you know your boundaries, the next step is to communicate them. Now you may ask, how does one do that effectively? Well, the answer lies in clear, assertive communication. Assertive communication is about expressing your needs and wants honestly while still respecting the rights and beliefs of others. It's not about being aggressive or passive, but about being direct and respectful. To communicate your boundaries effectively, you need to be specific. Instead of saying, I don't like it when you do that, try saying, I feel uncomfortable when you comment on my personal life. See the difference? Additionally, use I statements to express your feelings. This reduces the chance of the other person feeling attacked and makes your communication more effective. Don't shy away from repeating your boundaries if needed. It reinforces your message and helps others understand your perspective. And lastly, remember to maintain a calm and composed demeanor. Your tone and body language play a crucial role in how your message is perceived. Remember, clear communication is key to making sure your boundaries are respected. Now that you've communicated your boundaries, the next step is to be consistent. Consistency is the glue that holds the structure of your boundaries together. It's like a lighthouse in the middle of a stormy sea, guiding you and others around you, providing a clear path to follow. Without it, the lines become blurred, and those boundaries you worked so hard to establish may begin to crumble. Inconsistency can lead to confusion and even disrespect of your boundaries. Picture this. You've told your friends you can't hang out after 10 in the evening because you need your rest. But one night you make an exception, and then another. Before you know it, your friends are calling you up for late-night outings on a regular basis, trampling over that boundary you initially set. This is the result of inconsistency. It sends mixed signals and creates an environment where your boundaries can easily be overlooked. Consistency isn't just about sticking to your rules, it's also about how you respond when your boundaries are crossed. If you let it slide once, chances are it'll happen again, and again, and again. It's a slippery slope. Your boundaries are a reflection of your self-respect and your self-worth. They are not a one-time declaration, but a continuous affirmation of who you are and what you value. Consistency in maintaining your boundaries is a form of self-care, a way to protect your mental and emotional health. It's important to remember that being consistent doesn't mean being inflexible. Life is unpredictable and sometimes adjustments need to be made. That's okay. The key is to ensure that any changes are thoughtful and purposeful, not reactive or done under pressure. Consistency in maintaining your boundaries is like building a muscle. It takes time, effort, and practice. It may be hard at first, but with each passing day, it gets easier. And the result? A stronger sense of self, healthier relationships, and a life that aligns with your values and needs. Consistency ensures that your boundaries are taken seriously. It's the seal of authenticity on your boundaries, a clear sign that you respect yourself. And therefore others should too. Saying no can be tough, but it's crucial in maintaining your boundaries. It's a small word, but it carries so much weight. It's essentially the gatekeeper of your personal space, your time, and your energy. But saying it, especially when you're not used to it, can feel uncomfortable. So how can we get comfortable with saying no without feeling guilty or rude? Start small. Practice saying no to trivial requests or minor obligations. As you get more comfortable, you can apply it to larger, more significant situations. Also, remember that you can be polite yet firm. You don't have to provide a detailed explanation or excuse. A simple, "I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that right now," can go a long way. Lastly, let go of the guilt. You're not responsible for other people's reactions. You have a right to your time and space. Remember, it's okay to say no. Your boundaries matter. Finally, the last step is reinforcement. This phase is paramount in maintaining your boundaries. It's not enough to simply establish your boundaries, you must also be prepared to reinforce them when they are violated. This is a critical aspect of boundary setting that is often overlooked. Imagine your boundary as a fortress. If the walls are breached, it's your job to patch them up and strengthen them. This is reinforcement. It's about holding your ground and making it clear that you are serious about your boundaries. Reinforcement doesn't mean being aggressive or confrontational, it's about being firm, assertive, and respectful. If someone crosses your boundary, remind them of it. Let them know that your boundary is important and must be respected. Remember, it's not about controlling others, but about managing your own life. So don't shy away from reinforcing your boundaries. It's a key step in ensuring that your personal space is respected. Reinforcing your boundaries helps ensure they are respected and upheld. So, how do you keep your boundaries? Let's recap. We started with self-awareness, acknowledging the significance of understanding your own needs and limitations. It's the foundation of setting your boundaries. Next, we moved on to clear communication. This is about expressing your boundaries to others in a direct and understandable way, ensuring there's no room for misconceptions. The third step is consistency. It's about standing firm, maintaining your boundaries in all situations, regardless of the circumstances. Then we discussed the importance of practicing saying no. It's okay to decline requests or demands that cross your boundaries. Remember, saying no is a powerful tool for preserving your personal space. Lastly, we talked about reinforcement. It's about reaffirming your boundaries when they're tested. Don't hesitate to remind others about your limits. Remember, maintaining your boundaries is crucial for your well-being and for building healthy relationships. Stand your ground, your boundaries matter.